I don't think we're going to get through that, and I think it's going to keep getting worse as I get closer to Melbourne. I've turned the ice protection on because we have no choice but to go through that up ahead of us. -1 degrees outside, there's a possibility of a bit of icing.
Echo Yankee Zulu, deviate 5 miles right of route.
Deviate 5 miles, Echo Yankee Zulu.
Look at that view, everyone, look. It's just beautiful. No, actually, this is my very, very messy hotel room. Last night's dinner. Well, good morning from Alice Springs. Today, I am flying myself from right here in the heart of Australia all the way back to Melbourne. I've got 2 long flights today, the first of which is going to be about 4 hours. Then I've got another 3 and a bit hours to get into Melbourne. The weather's not looking great, so we'll see how we go getting into Melbourne today. Should be a reasonable start to another long day of flying. I kind of want to make this video a little bit different to some of the others. I want this to be a bit more raw, a bit like behind the scenes of what it's like doing these flights that I do. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I don't normally show you in my flying videos, like this, which is me at a hotel reception waiting for a taxi. Waiting for a taxi to get yourself to and from an airport is a huge part of general aviation, because most airports that I fly into are a long way from town, and quite a lot of towns that I fly into are very, very small. Waiting for transportation to and from the airport is a big part of general aviation. To the airport, please. Near the Flying Doctors. That's before that? Yeah. Okay, all right, sorry, I'm not exactly sure what the gate is, but it's around there. Now I can't get into the airport. I'm calling them the number that they say I need to call to get the code. No one's answering. So a lot of aviation really is about problem solving. I thought they'd give me a code that I could use to punch into the gate myself. I can't do that here at Alice Springs. Someone actually has to come and let me through. I've got to show photo ID and they've got to let me onto the airport. And so I can't let the big picture frustrate me. I can't think I have to be in Melbourne tonight and every little thing that's holding me back is slowing me down, because that's just going to make you stressed. Instead, you take one job at a time and do it as well as you can. And the next job for me is to go and pre-fly that beautiful aircraft over there. Look at that. Not that one. Good morning, Echo Yankee Zulu. To top up the oil, that's another thing that I have to do on some of these long legs, which again I don't generally film, and I've got oil all over my hands, which is nice for a 4-hour flight that lies ahead of me. Pre-flight is done, aircraft is ready to go. The thing I'm waiting for now is I've actually got 15 minutes until the tower opens. If I leave now, I'm going to leave under CTAF conditions, which is just like a common traffic advisory frequency, so all pilots are just talking to each other and looking after themselves. But if I leave in 15 minutes, then I can depart with a clearance from the tower, and I love you guys, so I thought you might like to see that. So I'm just going to wait 15 minutes until the tower opens, and then you can see what it's like to leave Alice Springs when the tower's active, because I think some of you sometimes worry about flying in controlled airspace and talking to air traffic control, but it's actually dead easy. You watch now as I stuff it up. Remember when I flew to Alice Springs? It was about 1.5 years ago, and I did a helicopter ride over the airplane storage facility they have here. There's still quite a few aircraft parked up there. Please list in the comments all the airlines that you can see parked up here. Big AvGeek kudos to the person who can name the most.
Alice Springs Tower, good morning, Cirrus Echo Yankee Zulu in the GA parking area, received Alpha. We are VFR for Broken Hill, request clearance.
Echo Yankee Zulu cleared to Broken Hill via the 134 radial, climb to 7,000.
Cleared Broken Hill via 134 radial, 7,000, Echo Yankee Zulu. Okay, so we got our clearance. We're going to go out via the 134 radial, which I've just dialed up from the VOR here, climb to 7,000.
Echo Yankee Zulu, climb to 4,500, cleared for takeoff, make right turn.
Climb 4,500, cleared for takeoff, right turn, Echo Yankee Zulu.
Qantas 1955, back check line up runway 12.
Back check line up runway 12, Qantas 1955.
Echo Yankee Zulu, climb to 7,500, report level passing with distance Alice.
Climb 7,500 and we are 22 miles Alice. Leaving 5,000, climbing 7,500, Echo Yankee Zulu.
Echo Yankee Zulu, thanks.
So you can see what they're doing with us at the moment is that Qantas flight was flying over the top. They took off behind us, but they're obviously faster. Air traffic control have kept me at a lower altitude whilst Qantas clears me. Now they're above, now I can climb up, and I have to report leaving 7,000 so the person behind me can climb up as well. So it's very clever. It's kind of this sequential stepping up of all of the traffic to get further and further out from Alice Springs. When I come to this blue line, that's when I'm going to be out of Alice Springs, is controlled airspace. And I'll just be VFR and on my way all alone across the desert like normal. Echo Yankee Zulu passing 7,000.
Echo Yankee Zulu, thanks. Contact centre now on 119.8, g'day.
119.8, Echo Yankee Zulu, see you later. Echo Yankee Zulu now 40 miles, Alice.
Echo Yankee Zulu, identification and control service terminated. G'day.
Alice Springs have said goodbye, Melbourne Centre have said goodbye, and when they say control service is terminated, that means I'm no longer in controlled airspace. So I can do whatever I want now, and all I need to do is fly the... how far have we got? 3 hours and 12 minutes to Broken Hill. There's not a lot to do on these long flights. It's actually nice today because it's quite smooth. Yesterday was a slog. Darwin to Tennant Creek and then Tennant Creek to Alice Springs was awful. But the good thing about the level I'm at the moment is I do also have a slight tailwind. I'm just listening to some music. That's what I normally do on these flights. I'm just having some food as well, so I keep my energy levels up. I'm making sure I'm drinking lots as well. The views never get tiring though. I can fly over this landscape 100 times and it seems different every single time. It's a beautiful, vast, scary place, but I love it. About to cross into South Australia from the Northern Territory. Yeah, it's bumpy again now. Look at this magic moment when you're flying. You ready? Less than an hour to go. That's been a long flight. Okay, now when I have less than an hour to go, I thought I'd show you what I do to set up my approach into Broken Hill. Good thing I can do here with the new avionics is I can just click on Broken Hill, I can go to the runways, and I can see a diagram of the runways that they have. So it's 23 and 05. I've checked the weather and I know the wind is pretty much coming straight down the runway for 23. So I'm going to be setting myself up for runway 23. I get the elevation of 959 feet here, so I know that my circuit height for Broken Hill is going to be 1,000 feet above that, so 1,900, or I'd kind of say 2,000 feet. So what I can do in my flight plan, because I know I need to descend down to 2,000 feet, is I go to Broken Hill, I click here, I click altitude constraint, I put in 2,000 feet at the waypoint. If I save that, then I actually now on here get a top of descent point of 42 minutes from where I am now, and on my moving map you can see that's where I am. That's Broken Hill just at the top of the map, and I have my top of descent marked here. It's ridiculously easy, right? The other good thing is there's an audible annunciator that says vertical track in an American accent, and that tells me I've got 1 minute before I need to start down my vertical track. And the other good thing is I get a virtual glide slope as well, so I can just follow that down. I've set it to be a 1.5 degree descent because I don't want to descend too quickly. You can set it to be whatever you want, and that's it. And then I'm all set up for Broken Hill. I just have a look at the chart on my iPad now as well, brief myself on where the taxiways are. I can do all that. To be honest, I can do all that. I don't need my iPad. I know I'll be landing on 23. If I just zoom in, I can see it's taxiway Alpha, so it'll be a right turn onto Alpha, and then a right turn onto taxiway Charlie, and I know that the fuel pump is just over here at Broken Hill. And after I've done that, I go back to watching Bob's Burgers. Up ahead, we're going to pass now across the Strzelecki Desert, named after Sharon Strzelecki from Kath and Kim. Not many people know that. We have 1 minute and 10 seconds until I get to that top of descent point that I mentioned. You can see here on the map, we're almost going to be there. We should get a vertical track announcement in a second.
Vertical track.
There we go. Yeah, with technology like that, when the plane tells you that you need to start descending, that's yeah, it's quite a luxury. I should start descending. Get the cockpit ready. You can go here, my friend. Pick a gap in the clouds to go through. Perfect. That worked out well. Hello, Broken Hill. Got the wind from my right, so I'm aiming myself out a little bit. At Broken Hill, Echo Yankee Zulu turning final runway 23, full stop, Broken Hill. Long journey, 4-hour flight. And we're not even home yet, this is the first of 2 flights. That was a good flight. I really enjoyed that one.
So that sign there on the fuel bowser that says tank receiving means that they're currently filling up the fuel from the big truck that's over the other side. and they say it's going to take an hour. So my hope of doing a quick turnaround here in Broken Hill and then heading back to Melbourne kind of been dashed, but it's kind of good in a way. I'll have a break. That was a long flight. Can't get frustrated by it. It's out of my control. I would love to fill up and just go straight away, but I cannot. Okay, just planning my next flight then down to Melbourne, which will probably do IFR, and to accompany that I've got my piece of carrot cake here and my oat milk coffee. Haven't had one of these for a week. That is so good. And as you remember, I didn't get anything to eat this morning, so this is technically breakfast. Oh no. Still got to wait. That's all right. There's a bit of weather passing through Melbourne at the moment, which is due to go through in about an hour and a half, so a bit extra time on the ground is not a bad thing. I could have had a second coffee though. Okay, and success. The fuel bowser's opened up again. Just filled Echo Yankee Zulu. There's the damage if you're playing along at home. Airspeed's alive. Up we go. So hopefully get out the bumps when we get on top. Much better above the clouds. It's funny, after doing a week of all these long flights, this one today is 2 hours 15 minutes to our destination, 360 miles, and that seems like a really quick hop.
Tango Alpha Victor.
I think the clouds that are up ahead at the moment are going to be too high for us to get over, and I think it's going to keep getting worse as I get closer to Melbourne. But I'm going to see if I can climb us up. I only need about 1,000 feet, I reckon. Echo Yankee Zulu, we're just starting to go into the clouds here now. Request non-standard 10,000.
Echo Yankee Zulu, there's no reported IFR traffic 10,000.
Echo Yankee Zulu climbing 10,000. Even though those clouds are fine, they wouldn't be a problem for us. They might be a little bit bumpy in and out of the clouds. -1 degrees outside, so there's a possibility of a bit of icing. And to be honest, it means I can't see ahead of the aircraft if I'm sitting there in the clouds, so just for comfort and so I can see further ahead. Echo Yankee Zulu, request 5 miles right of track.
Echo Yankee Zulu, deviate 5 miles right of route.
Deviate 5 miles, Echo Yankee Zulu. I've turned the ice protection on, so that's the TKS fluid you can see flowing over the wings there. I'm just getting it ready because we have no choice but to go through that up ahead of us.
12375, cheers, Qantas 466.
Echo Yankee Zulu, descend 3,000.
Descend 3,000, Echo Yankee Zulu. Good, because I want to get out of this cloud.
Qatari 675, maintain your best speed.
Yeah, that was an ugly one.
Thanks, Qatari 675.
Thank you.
Hello, home. That's a good sight, breaking out the clouds and seeing your hometown. God, I miss this town every time I'm not here. I love Melbourne so much.
Echo Yankee Zulu, clear to land.
Clear to land, Echo Yankee Zulu. I'm going to be doing a full Q&A about this entire trip, so I want to know down below in the comments what your questions are. Ask me about how much things cost, how long the flights were. Anything you want to know, let me know in the comments below. I'll go through all your Qs and I'll give as many As as I can. But thanks for watching Over the Top.